All right, so we're gonna present H&M's products life cycle. To begin with the introduction, we're gonna talk about how H&M reached the maturity stage as a company over like 70 years after starting their business. They have many different products like clothing, sportswear, accessories, and they all have different life cycles. But they don't last long when they're offered to the public, since they constantly renew it with different products. And the life cycle is like the amount of time that since the product is offered to the public until it's taken down of the shelves or like it's not offered anymore. And it helps the company to make some decisions over the marketing mix, meaning the product, the price, the location. There's 4 stages, and I'm going to begin with the first one, that is the introductory. You can go to the next slide, Bryson, please. Oh, there we go. And the product, in this phase, the products are introduced in the market. The objective here is to create awareness and develop the market for the product. And here the product branding is very important, because here's where you want to create a differentiation from other competitors and help the product stand out. For example, in H&M, they talk about like sustainability, and that's something that they want to create awareness of, that they're using or creating their products using this concept. So that would be perfect to include. And depending on the product, on the type of product, they can use low penetrating strategy, that is to put a low price at the beginning, and this is to like be competitive with other companies that offer the same kind of products. And also they can use the high skimming price, which is, I think, the one that they use the most, because they start with like the highest price, and it will decrease with the time. And this is because they are constantly changing products. So once the newest version or the newest designs come out, and they can lower the price of the ones that they already had offering to the public. Also, they need to put an intensive promotion strategy with high advertisement in all social media platforms if it's possible, in the streets, emails, any time of promotions, in a very potent or intensive way. The level of competition in this stage is low, and the distribution is limited, because it depends on like if the product, the public responds well to the product, then they will like make sure that it's available in all the stores. And in collective societies like the US, or like most of the countries that they offer these products, people and the culture go in a positive side for this company, because we have we are constantly buying clothes and changing the ones that we have. So that's good for the business. And then Bryson is going to talk about growth.
Yeah, so overall for the growth of H&M, financially they've been growing every year. They're capped at an annual of $239 million worth of investments as of year 2020. And then kind of a little bit more research upon it. The pandemic obviously tarnished those numbers a little bit, but due to H&M being one of the most successful companies out there, they were able to rebound pretty well. And what I kind of came up with would be a good growing, point for this company is to really expand on their online sales. It says over 2021, and partly due to the pandemic, that like over about 1.3% of increase in online sales and that would probably have to do with people not being able to shop in person and only online thanks to the pandemic. But then that also showed people that, hey, we can just buy our stuff online and get it shipped to us without even having to move. So what I was stating with H&M is they need to find a higher market for online. They do have a online website, but they need to, like with their competitors, Amazon, for example, one of the highest ones. They need to include 1 day shipping or 2 day shipping and make that pretty consistent. Because after some reviews I was looking at, that was kind of the issue, is they wouldn't necessarily get their products on time. So that is what I believe would really help H&M grow, even though they're already extremely successful. And for maturity, with H&M, they need to realize that history repeats itself when it comes to fashion. I see an example within our paper that if you take a look at guys like shorts, they used to be below the knee in the early 2000s, and as you look, they're actually starting to go up above the knee. And if you were to pay attention to the 1980s or 1970s, it's kind of like the fashion's coming back into style. So that's something that H&M needs to take into counter. And then they can afford to take risks because they've been around for 70 plus years. So that's also something that they need to stay true to, along with staying level-headed with the competition and trying not to do too much, but knowing that they are capable of doing that because they've been around forever. And then lastly, they just need to sell to the buyer's generation, and the generation would be people of today, our generation, for example, the more tech-savvy generation that knows how to shop online. I think that's what would be suited best for H&M to continue with their success. Here's the other slides.
So I'll be speaking about the decline of H&M. So basically, the decline of H&M, they started their major time in the year 2017, the early months, as 170 stores were closed in 2018, and that year was the lowest profit in all those 6 years since they started, for 14% for the whole year. So it was a quite a low time for H&M. It started because people started buying things online as the era of online started growing up, and because of COVID. So and apart from this, the quality was not really satisfied by the customers were not really satisfied by the quality and the pricings they had in H&M before, because as compared to Zara, ASOS, and Boho, they had the same thing but in a cheaper price and a good qualities too. So that also was a main reason of decline in the H&M. Others have criticized merchandising, and they also have this complaint that the fashion is too plain for the upcoming, like for the growing fashion around this world right now. On the conclusion, so this was a decline, and pressing the conclusion part. Yeah. So on conclusion, uh, after H&M reached its maturity 70 years after it was founded, and with the extensive marketing, with the advertisement and their brands working all over the world, they have made their stamp and their goodwill in this market. They have taken major risks, and with those risks, competing those risks, and in the competition, they have matured and they have grown incredibly popular. They had their down era in the year 2017, where most of the stores were closed all around the world. But now they have made their step again, they have covered all their loopholes that made them go into a decline version of in the company, in this industry. uh, but now they have made a comeback, and have different styles and clothings in this market with relatively good pricing. So the competitors as Zara, ASOS, and Boho, uh, H&M has come back, given a comeback to these brands again. All right, and these are the references. Oh, my bad.